I think for a lot of us who remember the second Gulf War, Iraq in the early 2000s, Libya, and even more recently, Afghanistan, an expansion to include regime change for a state as large and as geostrategically significant as Iran is quite worrying because they don't tend to follow a script.
When we get to July the 9th, with multiple different partners, I think the answer to that is dream on. Don't think you'll get certainty and clarity and predictability. But will we get some terrible terminal crisis where Trump, in a fit of pique or believing that he's been, conned by major trading partners, really goes for it on even larger tariffs? My instinct is not. My instinct is we will get a messy outcome, and over the summer and into the autumn, we'll get further trade negotiations.
Russia, despite the fact that it also had been, moderately isolated over many years, was still a significant place of two-way trade and of financial exchange. So it was a significant financial emerging market. There were significant portfolio positions. Those are non-existent in Iran. There's obviously still some degree of trade going on, but it's still relatively small by global standards. So the primary contagion channel would be energy prices, and energy prices have been relatively stable.
Israel is a significant supplier of drinking water to the region, using its gas to desalinate seawater, and threats to that start to matter to an awful lot more than just Israel.
Although I wouldn't expect to see it necessarily move the needle significantly, this rising violence coupled with a sense of erratic enforcement by U.S. institutions will matter, and I think it will have perhaps a soft but meaningful impact on the U.S. business environment.
The EU is emitting messages, I think, both to Beijing and to Washington, and I think von der Leyen did do that in the margins of the G7 when dealing with Trump, of we haven't gone soft on China, we haven't got unreliable on China, we recognize an awful lot of what you're talking about in terms of Chinese trading behavior and mercantilism. We're essentially more with you than against you.
This bill specifically has that famous Article 899, which you can debate whether it's trying to discourage foreign efforts to tax U.S. companies or whether it is another part of the agenda to tax foreigners and to discourage inflows. It is another indication to foreign investors that the risk reward of investing in the US has changed, and that will reinforce and support this ongoing dollar downtrend.
I'm still watching the quality of Treasury auctions. I think it's still consequential.